Fallout Vegas has a ton of items in it. Most of these items have a weight associated with them. The maximum carry weight in the game is 400 without the use of commands. If a player collects too many items, they move as slow as a snail after realizing that domestic servitude can be kinkafied. I'm not sure that word means what I think it means, but we're going with it anyways. Can you beat Fallout New Vegas with only 10 carry weight? The premise of this challenge is simple. Beat the game with only being able to carry 10 pounds. Too much of a pussy to do what this sexy legend did, but loved weirdest builds video on lightweight builds. Being the unoriginal content creator that I am, I'm gonna slap both of these ideas on a chicken sandwich and eat it with a side of peanut butter. I chose female for this run because if at any point I do get over encumbered and have to watch an ass slowly walk across the Mojave, I want to watch an ass with a little bit of kick to it like whiskey. I apologize if whiskey doesn't actually have a kick to it. I'm a virgin in many aspects of my life. While I experiment with electrostimulation, here are my special stats. Like usual, endurance, intelligence, and luck are my main focuses. I grab guns, repair, and barter for my tag skills, although I wish I would have gone with speech instead of barter. Good-natured and skilled allow me to get a lot of skill points, making early game here a breeze. Before I leave Doc Mitchell's house, I figure out how to modify my carry weight with command console, and drop anything that I can't keep on me in the sarsaparilla crate that I use for most challenge runs. I have to keep my 10mm pistol, vault suit, and one doctor's bag for any roleplay situations that may present themselves. While I have painted a pretty grim picture for this run, several people have already beaten the game with 0 carry weight, making this whole video stupid and redundant like my existence. While I loot Mitchell's house for any sex toys, I do want to say that the reason why I chose to go with 10 carry weight was so that I could still enjoy the game. The reason I do these challenges isn't just to make the game hard on myself, it's to learn something that I would have otherwise not learned. Enough of the logistics, I'm here to get impregnated like the rest of you fine folks. I shoot some bottles for Sunny before interrupting Trudy and Joe Cobb's rather political debate. She told me that Ringo had promised Joe 2 sets of nipple clamps for him and his lover to wear, but that Ringo hadn't provided the merchandise. I wonder what the right and left would have to say about that. Going to Ringo, I collect the nipple clamps, but decide to keep them for myself. Never know when I might need them to make a little extra money. I head to the local jock to buy more ammo for my only gun, but he doesn't have any, leaving me more disappointed than his mother when she found out he lost his scholarship to Harvard Business School. I checked out Gene skydiving, but quickly realized that looting was going to be a little harder than just the take-all option that I'm used to. On the way to Prem, I kill a few geckos, only to get XP in return. Not having food is a problem you're going to see bite me in the tushy here in a little bit. While in Prem, I say hey to a Curious George cosplayer, contemplate picking up medical supplies, grab a few landmines, use said landmines to kill a dude, kill another dude, and say hello to a guy that has the last name that rhymes with hash. It's 4 in the afternoon. Why do I want potatoes? I show Nash my new nipple clamp collection before he agrees to pay for my services. With his money, I planned on buying some more ammo, but he also didn't have any 10mm rounds.
Oh my god!
This made Mr. Owl upset, so I killed a few dogs. Killing these dogs really made me realize how much I miss my explosive potato launcher that I left in Mitchell's house.
Nice potato gun.
Almost dead, I pushed through Hidden Valley and by proximity, Black Mountain, before getting to the 188 trading post. Here I was actually able to obtain some micro-penises for my weapon. I would have tried Lacey at the Mojave outpost, but honestly, I wasn't sure I'd make it there with how little ammo I had. Heading back to Prim, I get testicular torsion while writing the script. I push south, allowing me to get to the patrol station. After killing a few guys in stealth to the best of my ability, I level up, allowing me to put points into guns and speech, as well as grab the Black Widow perk for a little fun with the 2-pump jump.
Nice Charlies, too. Give him a shake for the Ben man, will you?
I chose the 10mm for reliability, so it's no surprise to see it destroying the jackal sphincters like pegging did for me the first time. It turns out that there is such a thing as too much girth. The length was nice though. I bait the female dogs inside the station outside and put them out of the miserable existence before heading inside and stepping on a few Green Goblin wannabes. Inside, I do find a few medical supplies, most notably Hydra. In a pinch, it could be useful with it not having weight. The book on the desk weighed 2 pounds, which shocked me. I was the type of kid to bring his whole locker to class, so I totally got an ego boost after realizing how swole I was. Getting to the NCR's outpost, I speak to Lacey, only to find out that she also doesn't have any 10mm ammo. To take out my frustrations, I give her such a good flogging that she pays me for the experience.
Yes, Daddy.
Something about this collection of sex toys that I am accumulating allows me to rise to a level of charisma that I am not familiar with. While in the area, I speak with Ranger Jackson and kill some ants for him. I don't know why, but I really love this quest. The fact that you can later mention that you did this in a conversation with Cass also makes me want to prostrate myself in the name of Obsidian. If you want an easy service rifle, ask him about the supplies. I'm unfortunately built different, so I move on with my life without accepting the chalice of life. While I was heading to Nipton, I killed a few more ants and a whole lot of people. I did get a few supplies off these guys and was able to fill my needs, as well as grab a 10mm to repair mine. I just want to clarify, by needs, I meant food and water, not my necrophilic tendencies. I watched an interesting battle for a little bit before pitching in and killing both parties. I think this interaction is communism in a nutshell, but that may be a little too political for me to mention. After my kerfluffle, I head back to dock to get rejuvenated before heading towards Boulder City and desecrating a war memorial.
What the fuck are you doing? My brother died at the Battle of Hoover Dam. You're desecrating a war memorial.
Heading back to Ranger Ghost, I tell her about the situation in Nipton. For some reason, she seems upset. I offer her one of my nipple clamps in an attempt to boost her mood, but she refuses. Feeling a little underleveled, I make my way to the Bison Steve. Still utilizing stealth as much as possible, I do pretty well. Along the way, I'm able to take some items that don't have carry weight, but ultimately, very little is gotten here. At level 4, I invest in speech and grab the comprehension perk. I don't have enough ammo for me to kill everyone inside, so I try to use Deputy Beagle to take care of most of them. This fails miserably. With no ammo and the founders for utilizing hot wax on my tail, I swap weapons, allowing me to get the varmint rifle. While not my preferred weapon, it has the potential to do more damage than the 10mm because I can actually purchase ammo. Regrouping at Chet's allowed me to do just that and more. I bought a silencer for the rifle as well. Stepping back inside the Bison Steve, I found my friend standing right where I left them, allowing me to take out both with relative ease from a position of stealth. Looting their body, I found that the leader actually picked up my 10mm and saved it from despawning. Leaving that worthless piece of trash like my ex left me, I once again head back to Good Springs to get a stealth boy. While I was with my ex, she encouraged me to avoid looking at mirrors while we were experimenting with feminization, so that it would be more of a surprise when I actually got to see myself. Just thinking about me in a pink skirt with a blonde wig gets me going. If anyone's curious, I have a nice ass. Anyways, I always think about that when I use stealth boys. While I was telling my family-friendly story, I was talking with Jessup in Boulder City for some easy XP, allowing me to put more points into speech and science. This dude snuck up on me from behind a plant, allowing me to get the emergency two-way radio. Not much time later, while on a walk to Novac, I level up again after discovering the El Dorado gas and service station. This time around I put points into repair and science, as well as grab toughness. I usually don't like toughness, but with our deity being non-existent, I figured it wouldn't hurt. To get past this next set of raiders, I call in the ranger support and keep pushing on. Turning around, I see that she actually kicked ass. Women are just too sexy when they're dominant. My new bride-to-be, I discover Novac and find out that Cliff is selling 10mm ammo, but not 5.56. Needless to say, this irritated me to such an unsettling amount that I threw my meat on a vibrator with the highest setting on for approximately 10 minutes. I don't know why that sounded like a cooking segment, but just know that it wasn't.
I'm gonna beat my meat over here, and then I'm gonna melted butter.
Mission failed. We'll get 'em next time.
Talking with Boone, he gives me a cool beret after telling me a sad story, so I bring this lady, I won't mention her name because her role in this film is rather unimportant at best, to the front of the dinosaur. Because of the temptation of utilizing followers' inventory to store goods, I won't be using them this run. However, adopting a follower and then telling them to wait allows you to keep their perk for roughly 3 days, until they go back to their original town. In Boone's case, I get the spotter perk, allowing me to see enemies highlighted with a red glow. In Eddie's case, I get the enhanced sensor perk, allowing my compass to improve a great deal. While this is kind of cheaty to a certain extent, it's not as cheaty as my girlfriend having intercourse with my best friend.
Wait a damn minute. What?
Grabbing some ammo from our favorite hash brown provider, I make my way to Brockflower Cave. Given that everybody here has probably heard about this weapon a dozen times, if you haven't, that's okay, I still find you incredibly attractive. I'm gonna skip over most of this. The main strategy here is popping a stealth boy and sneaking into the loot room. I move a little quickly on the way out, so I cut a little close, but by the end of it I have the Rat Slayer, a unique varmint rifle equipped with a silencer, scope, extended magazine, and one less pound than the standard variant. In addition, it's black. I don't mean to be racist, but the color black usually suggests a large output. Almost as if Mitchell heard that last joke and wanted to show his disapproval of it, he denied me healing. I really don't know why my game hates me so much, but it really is a toxic relationship. I went to couple therapies for a few months, something I wouldn't recommend, and I learned that a brick is a brick regardless of what kind of paint you put on it. Some bricks are used in buildings, and others are used to break those buildings' windows. I hope you all find good bricks someday if you haven't already. Recovered and rearmed, I kill a few Brahmins to test my fighting prowess. Certainly not my preferred exam, prostate in case you're curious, but at least I could kill them. I also stop in at whatever this place is and buy some water before shoving it down my gullet. At this point, I probably should have just went on to beat the game normally by doing all of the quests when you go to meet different organizations that could bring issues to your given faction. But I decided that my prostate exam wasn't over and that I needed to explore just a little deeper. While near Camp McCarran, I killed a few fiends and ants. Ants give a lot of XP for how few bullets they take, but I decided to head down the anthole. If I would have remembered how empty the hole was, unlike mine at the moment,
Nice.
I would have avoided coming down here. That said, I loved it regardless. One of the things that this challenge run taught me was that items really weren't as important as what I thought they were. Sure, I struggled at certain points, but at the end of the day, being able to be clothed and have decent weaponry under 10 pounds is crazy. Wanting a little more consistency in the ammo department, I make my way to the cons. Having helped them in Boulder City, I would be able to purchase ammo from their armory. On their way to Red Rock Canyon, I discovered a few new locations and killed a lot of fiends, including Driver Defy. Leveling up, I put more points into speech and survival. No, I'm not smart. Yes, I should have invested barter to get the pack rack perk. Not having hurt or helped the powder gangers was nice, as I was able to visit them freely without any repercussions. After discovering the Whittaker farmstead, I start heading towards the Vendertron for some more ammo. He actually had some, which was a nice change from the rest of this run. Once again, I stop by the Grub and Gulp for some more food and water. The definite downside of not being able to carry much is not having room for items that keep you alive. While I'm walking to Vault 19, I just want you to know that a fly was on my keyboard when I went to go write this line. Because it was in between the arrow keys and the delete key, my fat fingers were able to do something straight out of Karate Kid, crush it with a might of 300 Spartans. Moments like these really add a level of excitement to my life that I cherish a great deal. Almost as much as I cherish trying to kill a vault full of fire geckos with less than 100 rounds. Needless to say, I would have totally been kicked into the hole.
This is Sparta!
After realizing that I wasn't strong enough to kill the geckos for the powder gangers, I decided to go to an arguably more difficult area, Black Mountain. Being the big brain that I am, I snuck through the back door and made it to the storage area that houses Rhonda's lifeless body. With my 60 in science, I was able to resuscitate her, allowing Mistress Tabitha to leave Black Mountain. I'm sure that there's a kink for soup mutants, and if there is, send me a link to the subreddit. This of course leveled me up, so I grabbed more barter and another rank of toughness. I was tempted to mess with you all and grab strong back, but I opted not to completely ruin this run. At this point I was like, okay, I need to get this run done before I cry myself to sleep longer than I already do. So I booked it to Camp McCarran, hopped on the rail with no repercussions as I was a friend of the NCR, and made my way to the tops. For this run, I do go with the yes man route, yes it is the fastest, and yes I have an uncanny hatred for sloths. Benny and I have the night of our lives thanks to Black Widow. Afterwards, I grab Maria and the platinum chip from his corpse, before leveling up again and putting more points in barter. Yes Man as a Chad for sure. He is completely okay with me ruining well-laid plans and ignoring every quest, so I do just that. I really should have taken a break from this run here, but I kept pushing even though it was literally a different day than when I had started. I met a guy who looked like he had cancer. No, I'm not making fun of people who have cancer. Yes, I am making fun of the way the NCR chooses to dress themselves. Going over to Victor, I pop inside, do some computer mumbo jumbo, enter another door, and kill an old guy. I'm going to get a lot of hate on this video. Racism and ageism? I pop in a Gamora to say hello before immediately leaving. I literally just did this quest the other day, so I'm going to avoid doing it again for a hot minute. The Ultra Lux was next, so I said hey to a slender version of Murgo from Fable 2 before falling out of the world and seeing our old friend George. One of these days I'm going to shoot this guy a message on Instagram telling him how attractive he is. Look at me trying to be the nice person on YouTube. I bounce between houses while getting exploded on. Tasty. Pearl was tempting with age comes wisdom, but once again I ghosted the boomers as well. The Brotherhood were nice to me. They welcomed me into their home, gave me a collar that weighed 5 pounds, and told me to force the ranger out of the range of the bunker. See what I did there? I know, I'm hilarious. I'm sure you've gotten the picture put together by now. I ignored the Big 10 dudes as well. After all that nonsense, I returned to Yes Man, take yet another 7 minutes of my life watching the demonstration, save the president by way of murdering 2 other people that look suspicious, and kill some rad scorpions to reach level 11, allowing me to once again increase my speech. After all that killing, I return to the Khan's armory to buy some more rounds and prepare for the dam. Not quite ready yet, but this next part won't take any ammo. My grandma loved Elvis, so to honor her, I will, for the first time on the channel, talk to the king, reveal Oris is a fraud and a terrible human being, play Mad Gab with some of the most intelligent people in the world, talk with Julie Farkas about her fashion sense, find out that the king and the NCR have communication issues, help solve said communication issues, and level up to level 12 for speech, guns, and fight the power. I still don't know why I didn't get pack rat. I'm pretty sure that I really wasn't thinking at this point, as it was 2 AM and my diaper was full. Coming back from the bathroom, I speak once again to everyone's favorite tech source winner. Before starting the Battle of Bikini Bottom. Almost dying immediately, I reload a save, pop a medics, and put on my yippee skippy boots. I played the dam as a pacifist. Getting the Legion to interrupt the NCR's guard outpost allowed me to get inside the control room, doing what the strange man tells me to do, I hop in his van before escaping into the tower. I spent 5 years drinking water to regenerate my health, step out onto the dam, and bum rush the door. Here's where the real battle begins. Not really, but that sounds more dramatic than me saying that I shot a couple guys from really far away.
Nice cock.
Got a cramp walking up the stairs to the legate, and essentially convinced him that my ability to pleasure a woman, or a man at this point, I'm not too picky, was greater than the need to start a war. He agreed after I showed him what I could do with my tongue, and I spoke with the guy who has the grocery bags in his legs. Watching the greatest cutscene in the entirety of gaming history, I proved that yes, you can beat Fallout New Vegas with only 10 carry weight. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, seriously consider tasting those subscribe and like buttons, as it boosts my insatiable ego. Be sure to leave a comment as well so I can tell you how sexy you are to your face. Have a good one.